in time. Although the festive season is around the corner, the past week was characterized by...
Okay, we're just waiting here. We're about to go. We're about to watch this live broadcast from State House. And just holding our breaths, waiting for it, really. We've been waiting for it for a couple of hours now. We're not sure. They were just about to start. They'd actually said, we're starting now. So I guess it hasn't yet kicked in. Let's put that in silent. But the entire country, the whole country, I mean, Zimbabweans everywhere are just waiting for this broadcast. There's a lot of people coming here. Elizabeth Masuka says, hello, Pastor. Wait a minute, I think we're there now.
Hello and welcome to President
Yes.
Robert Mugabe's address to the nation at State House.
We're now there.
Oh
my gosh, guys, this is just incredible. Whatever is about to happen here is just nuts.
So sit back, relax, and join us as we follow proceedings here at State House.
Oh my gosh. This is the end of an era, guys. It's the end of an era. Whatever is about to happen here is going to define us for a long time. But what a journey that we have walked as Zimbabweans. We have never seen anything like this. I mean, this is just incredible. I'm trying to set up my Twitter here at the same time. So wherever you're at, I know you might be watching right now. I just wanted to be live with as many of you as I could. Please share this broadcast. I just wanted to be with you guys as live, going live, just to share this special moment. I mean, we know he has resigned, but we want to see it. We want to hear it ourselves. We are the people that have had to face his brutality and his horrible government for years. We're the people that have lost our dreams. So we want to see it. We want to hear him say, I'm done, I'm resigning, you know. And I can't tell you what a momentous occasion this is. If you're not watching it live, I wish there was a way you could watch it live. I think it's showing on many channels, SABC, BBC. ZBC has a all right, here we go. Training us on Twitter, Robert Mugabe is about to resign, I think. Thanks for joining us on Twitter. We're just watching ZBC News. I can't breathe.
Fellow Zimbabweans, I address you tonight on the back of a meeting I held today with the nation's Security Forces Command element.
Here we go.
This meeting, which was facilitated by a mediating team led by Father Fidelis Nkonori S.J. of the Catholic Church, followed an operation mounted by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces in the week that has gone by, and which was triggered by concerns arising from their reading of the state of affairs in our country,
right,
and in the ruling ZANU-PF party. Whatever the pros and cons of the way they went about registering those concerns,
Wow.
I, as the President of Zimbabwe and as their Commander-in-Chief, do acknowledge the issues they have drawn my attention to, and do believe that these were raised in the spirit of honesty and out of deep and patriotic concern for the stability of our nation
Robert Mugabe is about to
for the welfare of our people.
resign.
As I address you, I'm also aware of a whole range of concerns which has come from you all as citizens of our great country, and who thus deserve our untrammeled attention. Today's meeting with the command element
Yes,
has
he's
underscored
resigning.
the need for us to collectively start processes that return our nation to normalcy, so all our people can go about their business unhindered in an environment of perfect peace and security, assured that law and order obtain and prevail as before, and endure
This is happening.
into the future.
It's happening. It's
If
happening.
there is any one observation we have made and drawn from events of the past week, it is the unshakable pedestal
Oh,
upon
yes.
which
He's
rests
going on Twitter. Someone says, does it look like he's
state of
leaving?
peace,
He's leaving.
law and order, amply indicating that as Zimbabweans, we are generally a peaceably disposed people, and with a givenness to expressing our grievances and to resolving our differences by ourselves, and with a level of dignity, discipline, and restraint so rare to many other nations. This is to be admired. Indeed, such traits must form the pith of our national character and personality. Yes, a veritable resource we summon and draw upon in times of vicissitudes. The operation I have alluded to did not amount to a threat to our well-cherished constitutional order, nor was it a challenge to my authority as head of state and government, not even as Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. To the man, the command element remained respectful and comported with the dictates and mores of constitutionalism. True, a few incidents may have occurred here and there, but these are being corrected. I'm happy that throughout the short period, the pillars of state remained functional. Even happier for me, and arising from today's meeting is a strong sense of collegiality and comradeship, now binding the various arms of our security establishment. This should redound to greater peace and also an abiding sense of security in communities and in our entire nation. Among the issues discussed is that relating to our economy, which, as we all know, is going through a difficult patch. Our great concern to that guide the operations of all its organs.
Skip a
Of
page.
greater concern, may I read this again? I beg your pardon. Of greater concern to our commanders are the well-founded fears that the lack of unity and commonness of purpose in both party and government was translating into perceptions of inattentiveness to the economy. Open public spurts between high-ranking officials in the party and government, exacerbated by multiple conflicting messages from both the party and government, made the criticisms leveled against us inescapable. Amidst of all this, flagship projects already adopted by government stood stalled or mired in needless controversies. All this now has to stop as we inaugurate a new work culture and pace which will show a strong sense of purpose and commitment to turning around our economy in terms of our policies.
Is this guy resigning or what?
Government remains committed to improving the social and material conditions of the people. Government will soon unveil an entrepreneurial skills and business development program which will empower and unleash gainful projects at our growth points and rural areas. Fellow Zimbabweans, we are a nation born out of a protracted struggle for national independence. Our roots lie in that epochal struggle whose goals and ideals must guide our present and structure our future. The tradition of resistance is our collective legacy, whose core tenets must be subscribed by all across generations and across time. Indeed, this too was a great concern for our commanders, who themselves were makers of that revolution, and often at very tender ages and at great personal peril. We still have in our various communities veterans of that founding struggle, who might have found the prevailing management of national and party issues quite alienating. This must be corrected without delay, including ensuring that these veterans continue to play central roles in the lives of our nation. We must all recognize that their participation in the war of liberation exacted lifelong costs which whilst hardly repayable, may still be assuaged and ameliorated. In respect of the party, and the party issues raised both by the commanders and by the general membership of ZANU-PF, there too stand acknowledged. These two stand acknowledged. They have to be attended to with a great sense of urgency. However, I am aware that as a party of liberation, ZANU-PF has over the years written elaborate rules and procedures that guide the operations of all its organs and personnel. Indeed, the current criticism raised against the command element, raised against it by the command element and some of its members have arisen from a well-founded perception that the party was stretching or even failing in its own rules and procedures. The way forward, thus, cannot be based on swapping, vying cliques that ride roughshod over party rules and procedures. There has to be a net return to the guiding principles of our party as enshrined in its constitution, which must apply fairly and equitably in all situations and before all members. The era of victimization and arbitrary decisions must be put behind, so as we all embrace a new ethos predicated on the supreme law of our party and nourished by an abiding sense of camaraderie. To all this must be a general recognition that ZANU-PF is a party of traditions and has been served by successive generations who are bound together by shared ideals and values, which must continue to reign supreme in our nation. Hints of intergeneration conflict must be resolved through a harmonized melding of old established players as they embrace and welcome new rules, new ones through a well-defined sense of hierarchy and succession. Indeed, all these matters will be discussed and settled at the forthcoming Congress within the framework of a clear roadmap that seeks to resolve once and for all any omissions or contradictions that have affected our party negatively. The Congress is due in a few weeks from now. I will preside over its processes, which must not be prepossessed by any acts calculated to undermine it or to compromise the outcomes in the eyes of the public. As I conclude this address, I am aware that many developments have occurred in the party or have been championed and done by individuals in the name of the party. Given the failings of the past and the anger these might have triggered in some quarters, such developments are quite understandable. However, we cannot be guided by bitterness or vengefulness, both of which would not make us any better party members or any better Zimbabweans. Our hallowed policy of reconciliation, which we pronounced in 1980, and through which we reached out to those who had occupied and oppressed us for nearly a century, and those we had traded fire with in a bitter war, surely cannot be unavailable to our own, both in the party and in our nation. We must learn to forgive and resolve contradictions, real or perceived, in a comradely Zimbabwean spirit. I am confident that from tonight, our whole nation at all levels gets refocused as we put shoulder to the wheel amidst the promising agricultural season already upon us. Let us all move forward, reminding ourselves of our wartime mantra, Iweneni Kenyebasa. I thank you and good night. Sorry, one or two places. I hope we can correct that. It's a long speech. Tatenda. Asante sana. Siyabonga. Okay, thanks.
What just happened?
That was an address to the nation by President Robert Mugabe at State House. Thank you for having joined us. Just as me to thank you for having joined us. For myself, Zanai Mobile, the entire technical and production crew. Now take you back to our Cockatiel studios, present viewing on ZBC TV.
I don't know what just happened here. I don't know what just happened. Okay. I'm not sure how to respond right there. I don't even know what that speech was about. And I don't I don't get it. I don't understand what just happened. No, seriously, I don't understand what just happened just now. Fellow Zimbabweans, I'm wondering, fellow Zimbabweans, if you're watching from wherever you're watching, I can't explain to you what that was about. As far as we were concerned, as far as I'm concerned, it was time he was supposed, I mean, he's okay. He didn't say anything. He literally did not say anything. Oh gosh. I mean, you tell me, what was that all about? I can't lie to you that I'm okay with that. I'm not feeling good about that at all. Unless something else is happening here that I don't know about, that just looked like it went in some funny direction. Okay. But let me say this, is that at least in his party, what I do know for a fact that he's not going to be president, at least in the near future. Okay. So he's going to preside over his Congress. I don't know as what. His party fired him today. And he's no longer the leader of his party. So he's a president of the country, but doesn't represent a party because he's no longer the leader of his party. So I don't get how that works. And I don't get how he is going to be presiding over the Congress when he's no longer, oh, come on. This is just nuts. So at the end of all of that, fellow Zimbabweans, let's at least know, because that definitely was confusing. Let's at least know that he is not the president of his party, which means he doesn't have long in that place. He's possibly refused to resign, which might mean that maybe Parliament will have to go through with an impeachment. Because if he's talking about presiding over Congress, it means he's maybe not aware that he's been fired by the party, which is highly unlikely. I think that he would know that he's been fired by the party. But bottom line is that he is on his way out. He's definitely on his way out. So before I say goodnight myself after that absolutely shocking speech that didn't say much to us, a speech that sounded like an apology but was an apology, a speech that sounded like somebody who wants to fix things even though he doesn't have the right to fix things anymore. Wow. I cannot explain to you what an anticlimax that was. Okay. But let me say this, like I said just now in conclusion, at least to kind of put our minds at ease, is that he was fired today. There's no two ways about it. He was fired by his party as the leader of that party. So the only remaining possibility at this point is that Parliament is going to go ahead and impeach him. And that should begin this coming week, I think. I don't see any other meaningful way in which this could end, because he can't preside over his party's Congress unless there's some other constitutional boffin out there who can explain to me what it now means. But the bottom line is that what is left to do now would be for Parliament to impeach him. That's basically what that means, is that Parliament now has to push a motion of no confidence and get on with giving the powers over, I suppose, to the leader of the House of Parliament. And then that should take us forward unless something else is going to happen. I can see the comments coming here. Someone says, so he has basically refused to resign. I think he has. Someone says, can he be impeached? Yes, he can. He will go down fighting. It looks like he's going to go down fighting. That's on Twitter. Someone says this is not what we expected here on Facebook. Absolutely not what we expected. He wanted to waste our time. Yes, he did. He wasted our time. Can he be impeached? Yes, he can be impeached. Yes, he can. Okay, someone saying here, so he decided to go the hard way. I think he's decided to fight it all the way and to go down fighting. Yes, Sarah Garande here says he spoke about the crops and agricultural season, among other things, but did not resign. And that's just the truth. This was never going to be easy. There was never going to be an easy way to get rid of this system. The journey began, we dug our heels, and until it's done, we're not giving up. Today we prayed in the afternoon at the Africa Unity Square. I want to encourage as many people as can be, as possible. If you can make it tomorrow at lunchtime, 1 o'clock to 2 at the Africa Unity Square, we are gathering. Take time off work, leave where you are, arrive early. Let's have 20,000 people at the Africa Unity Square tomorrow in Harare, where we are going to be praying and standing together as citizens, demanding that we want change in this nation. I think right now we don't really care what the process is about anymore. We really just want him gone. So we carry on tomorrow afternoon, Africa Unity Square, 1 o'clock, arrive early. We're going to stand together to make our concerns known and to voice our concerns, but to pray, most importantly. Let's get ready to do this. It's always going to be a long journey. Okay? So disappointment there tonight, but we do go away with knowing the fact that we marched against him, we marched to State House. We do go away knowing that he has been fired from his party and that it's only a matter of time. Pastor E here, disappointing evening. Fellow citizens, thanks for staying tuned in. My arm is shaking. I have to be honest with you, I am livid. But I am thankful that we did work and we continue to work and we keep pushing. So we're not done yet. He was fired today as ZANU-PF party leader. So that means that we still have work to do and we're carrying on. Thanks very much for being with me tonight. We thought this was a very historic evening, but it's turned out to be something else. We take away the hope that we have found in each other. We take away with us the hope that we have found in our belief in a better Zimbabwe. So thanks very much, fellow citizens. Once again, we're not backing down. Remember, we say this is the new normal. This is the new normal. We don't stop. Whether he resigns or whether they fire him, we don't stop, okay? Let's educate each other. Please do me a favor. Stop the fake news. Stop the speculation. We know that he's been fired from ZANU-PF, and it's only a matter, he can't preside over ZANU-PF Congress because he's no longer the leader of ZANU-PF. Not that I care about ZANU-PF, but my comment or my point is that he really is on his way out, okay? Tomorrow, 1 p.m., we're going to be out there at Africa Unity Square praying for a new Zimbabwe. God bless you guys. I just need to spend some time on my own. This is This kind of just messed me up a little bit as well. Okay. Thanks again for being with us, guys. God bless. Talk a little bit later on. Bye-bye.